Morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm good. Haircut or hair up? Hair up.
Up, up.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
gotten long enough that I can finagle it
Does your hair grow fast or slow?
fast.
Ah, my hair grows so slow. So
Yeah.
slow. Oh my gosh. And then you're lucky because with the curl, it feels slower because it just does this. It's, you know what I mean? This instead of doing that.
I was gonna say this, you mean?
Yeah. My husband and I were just talking because I said the meeting yesterday in the morning, I said I did with Stopping Wet Hair, and I said with my hair just pulled back down, and I said I looked at myself or glanced at myself at one point and thought, my God, you look like Eugene Levy. And my husband started laughing because I had the black frame glasses on. My husband started laughing. I said, I don't know what happened with that man because he was not cute when he was younger, and he's very distinguished and handsome now. And Greg goes, well, he must have married well because his son's good looking too. And I'm like, I think part of it is that way back then, nobody knew how to deal with the Jew fro thing that Eugene has, I had as a kid, his son probably has, but now we know how to deal with it. We know how to put product in, we know how to do stuff so we don't have
I'm
that.
still not good at that.
Whatever that thing is, it's not a good, your hair looks fine, by the way, and you have gorgeous hair. That thing, I told Greg, I'm like, you should see the picture of me in like 4th or 5th grade. And he goes, oh, I've seen it. Thanks, Eddie. Can't find it. It is just absolutely hideous, man. So anyway, morning, Liz. Can you talk today?
I gotta run out for just a second.
All right. By myself. Morning, Bree.
Good morning.
Let's hear some good news.
I picked up 2 buyers last night.
Wow. Where'd they come from?
So one is the son of a previous client who was a referral of their cousin who I got as a cold call.
Yeah, son of a previous client who was a referral from the cousin that came from a cold call. Okay.
Right.
We all start putting together all these things. I'm like, I must diagram in my head, or I am like.
So 2 years ago, when I was cold calling, I picked up this client. They bought a new build that is about 600,000. And then they referred me to their cousin for a new build, was also 600,000. And so now I've been referred to the son.
Nice.
So, so he's not in that bracket. He's young, but I'm excited, whatever, business is business. And the other client came from, there's a national organization called Operation Hope that does the financial wellness and credit counseling for free. So she started sending me those leads that don't have agents.
Nice.
So they've already been through the program, their credit score, they're healthy. So I just have to get them in front of a lender.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yay, that's really nice.
It is really nice. I love that it's a combination of, it started with a cold call, but then it's relationship from that point forward.
Which was good because last night I sideswiped something. And so now I have like this big old black mark and a chunk out of my car. This morning when I was bringing the trash in, I hit the tail light. So my tail light is out.
Great.
My mirror was sideswiped, so it's taped together. And my windshield is cracked. And I just washed it thinking, oh, it looks great.
Oh my gosh. Are you okay with
I'm okay. And then the guy that I'm talking to is like the senior vice president of an international company. And he's always like, let me walk you to your car. I mean, no.
His car?
No, to my car. Like we'll arrive different place, somewhere in different cars. And he's always like, let me walk you to your car.
No. no, it's good. I'm fine. I'm tough. I got it.
My taped up hoopty.
Oh my gosh. At least, okay, you're not officially Southern until you have the hand mirror attached for the mirror.
Ah.
That's when you're, yeah, that's when you're officially like, it's time for a new car when you do that.
Oh,
Right.
I was gonna say, I don't strive to be that.
No, no, no. So, all right,
Yeah.
we'll have some good news.
I think
Carmel.
I'm waiting for they said they sent it last night, but I can't find the response to our counter offer on my little 88-year-old, but I hope that'll close this week. And I'm supposed to get 2 offers on Branch Road. One's an investor and the other is a guy who's working with his lender, and we sent a counter and I wait for a response on that counter. So I haven't heard anything. So I'm playing follow up, and I've just been through one technology, my printer and scanner every morning when I wake up. It's like it can't find the device and it can't do that. So I've been extremely frustrated with technology all week, but that's my life.
I have to unmute because I got the lawn people. I swear to God, every time I ever get on the Zoom, everybody in the whole neighborhood has lawn people. This time it's mine, like right in front of your window. The funniest skit I think I ever saw was, oh God, I can't, Eddie Izzard. And he was like, I can't find the printer. And he would take his computer and he's like, it's right there. Like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with you? It's there. They said our entire life is like control print P, control print P, control print P. They said that's our entire life as far as technology goes. And he said that, and then they said in the shower, his entire life was trying to get the shower a knob adjusted from here, freezing cold, to here, steaming hot. And he's like, I just want to be where it's
In the
perfect,
middle.
but here to here, you know? So anyway, all right, who else has got some good news?
I was simply gonna say
do.
that the caramel worked.
You say what again,
I
Catherine?
was just going to say that the caramel turned out.
Yep. Nice.
I've never made caramel and it worked.
I love caramel. It's like one of
Me too.
my. Okay, there's really not much sugar I don't like, but caramel does have a special place in my heart. It really does.
Yeah, mine too.
Yours too?
Yep, love caramel.
Turtles are awesome, aren't they?
Oh,
Yes.
they're my favorite. I could eat, well, I almost ate a whole box of those this week.
Well, considering I got on the scale this morning after just tiny samples, I think I must have ate more than my share.
That's the season. All right. Who else has got some good news?
I do.
Yeah.
So the on-site agent that I'm doing the deal with, she reached out to me yesterday and asked me if I would like to host lunch and learns in her community. So I was like, yeah, definitely. And so we're looking at putting the first one on in January. And so I asked her if we could do them on a regular basis. So we're gonna look at doing them monthly.
That is way cool. Way cool. Are you going to, out of curiosity, stay with the same subject every single month? Or are you going to flip it around, like maybe rotate through 3, or like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I was thinking about different subjects, each month. So I hadn't really put together a plan. I was gonna ask you and get some advice from others that do lunch and learns as well, what they're doing, and just come up with some ideas in a format.
You know what I would do right out of the gate? I would pull my 12 favorite things from Gary's stuff, and I would
Okay.
rob, pillage. I mean, that's why he does it for us, so we can rob, pillage, and plunder through all of it to put together some stuff, and then think about what month you're doing it, like tax strategies in April. Even though it's too late to do stuff, people still want to know them.
Yeah.
It's just a
End
big.
of year.
Pardon me?
Because of end of year, they still want to know them.
They want to know exactly, but for some reason, when you run tax classes in April, you get tons of attendees, which really they sure but should be in there in like, December, November, January, whatever, but they do. So just look at your calendar and kind of think of that also, but I would rob, pillage and plunder and just steal away from there. And then the rest of
Yeah.
it's formatting and stuff, and that's a different thing. Cool beans. Congrats, Craig.
Thank you. And
You're
also,
welcome. Yeah.
saw a for sale by owner's house yesterday that was had just put the signs out because I go through this road every day,
Mhm.
and so I called the sign, and the guy answered. He's an investor. I actually met him a few years ago, and he remembered me.
Mhm.
But I have a he was apprehensive at first, when I told him I was a realtor.
Did he
But
remember
then-
you before or
No,
after?
it was after. It was after we, got into the
Okay.
conversation.
Okay.
So then I told him, I have a buyer that's possibly interested in that home. And so he, kind of cooled off after that. And I called my buyer. So hopefully we'll be able to go and see that house today.
Nice.
Did you get commission all worked out?
Yep, we talked about it. At first he was kind of slow speaking, and then when I told him, I have a buyer that's pre-approved, because he was all about telling me, what he wasn't gonna do, and
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's done this for years, and he can do it, and all of this, and I was like, yeah, I understand. But I do have a buyer who's looking in your price range, pre-approved. I can send you the paperwork, and so would you be willing to pay me a commission if we worked it out? And he was like, well, in that case, yeah, if you have a pre-approved buyer and he wants to buy the house, if he can buy the house, then yeah, we can work it out. He says, but I do charge a non-refundable fee to your buyer. I said, great, because South Carolina contract actually has that written in now. So, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he remembered me after that. Well, I told him, asked him his name. He told me his first name, and then after we got done, with the other stuff, I asked him his last name, and he told me. I was like, oh, I remember you. I stopped and talked to you before when you was putting out signs in Belle Meade a few years ago. I was bringing my son to a birthday party, and I stopped and talked with you. He was like, yeah, you're from out of town, right? I was like, well, no, I live here, but my office is out of town. It's in
Mhm.
Greenville.
Mhm.
And
Seriously? We lost you when you parked? What the hey?
Oh, it must be the Bluetooth thing, like in my
Oh,
car,
yeah.
when I open the
Oh.
door, it kills the Bluetooth and
Hello.
everything.
Yeah.
There he
here we
is.
go.
We lost
I
you when
pulled-
you opened your door.
Yeah, we pulled up. I pulled up at home, and it tried to connect to my Wi-Fi.
Yep. Yep.
Well, it
Mine
connected to
used to get
something.
so pissed. I'd be upstairs talking, we had a house in 2-story, was above the garage. And he'd get in his car to go in the garage, and my phones always take precedence over every vehicle he has. And literally, he can hear me talking, whatever business, and I'm like on my end, like, He's like, why? I'm not doing it on purpose, That's funny. Okay, so you said my office is in Greenville.
Yep. And so he remembered that, and he simmered down and softened up and everything. And then we had another conversation about him being an investor and some of what he does. And I told him that I would like to speak to him one-on-one sometime just to see what he does. And I work with investors. and what I could do for him. How can I help him?
Love it.
So
Absolutely love it. So cool beans. Congratulations. And you made me think of a thing I want to ask later. Be thinking about this, unless somebody has something else. But when people start that blustering, I'm gonna rah, 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 I'm interested in what some like quick ways to kind of disarm that crap is, because it's just, I mean, we all run across it. We all run across
Mhm.
it. Thing. All right, who else has got some good news? PF, I'm gonna call on you. You have something you always do. You are not taking over Michael Ussery's thing of
Right.
"Oh, good news, I'm alive." That is crap. You are not Michael Ussery. You're PF, who stands for pretty fine.
I'm blank. I don't know. Well, Catherine is always showing up with great hair, so today is no exception. So, you know,
Y'all must need glasses more than. But thank you. I'm supposed to say thank you.
yeah, no,
You are
it's
supposed to say thank you.
I'm not good at that, but thank you.
Yeah. And Catherine, it
Now
was
you
the
can get out
first
of
thing
that.
I noticed when I came on. I was like, Catherine's got a new hairstyle.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
Kevin just hiding the hair. It's like, oh,
Look at that.
that's all.
Love it.
us. You know, I love hair.
I figured that was a
Pretty-
choice, and it's very in style.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm
Well,
trying
you
to
know, I
shave
yeah.
his, he won't do it, but I'm
And
working
I'm
on
sure
him.
you don't mind having people rub your head. It's for luck, right?
Sure. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what they tell. That's what, yeah, guys will tell you anything. Anna, are you able to talk with some good news, sweetie? No. Okay, and I know Liz can't either. Okay,
I'm right here, love. I'm so sorry. My hands were wet because I'm getting the lunch ready for the kids, but I couldn't touch the unmute button fast enough. I'm sorry. Morning,
Nope.
everyone. Hope everyone's
morning,
having a
Anna.
beautiful
Good
start
morning,
to your
Anna.
day. Good morning. For me, I don't know what it is. Okay, tell me if I'm the only one. If I preliminarily share good news,
You get it
literally everything about that good news just spirals down. I
When
don't know.
the printer is
Is
telling
that-
me it
is
can't
it
find the
me
computer.
only? I have
so,
no idea, but I'm
yeah, I
happy to
just,
share
yeah,
with you guys.
you. Anyway, so you said when you share good news, it spirals down?
Yes, I don't know why. Is that how it is with you guys, or no? I'm
No, I
assuming
never
no.
think of it that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's well, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking, but okay. So I found an investor who's thinking about moving. He currently lives in Texas, in Laredo, Texas. He's thinking about moving to Austin, and with all of his business partners, they're bringing in a relatively new business concept to the area. The Austin city apparently has the most business-friendly rules regarding that type of business. Have you guys heard of digital lounges? I've never been.
Yeah, but I'm not real, I have no idea. I've just heard the term.
Yeah, I never was familiar with it. So I drove down to the nearest one I have just to see what it's all about because it just seems so cryptic. Like he called me and he's like, yeah, you don't want to go there. I'm like, why? And he goes, yeah, you don't want to go there. And so I was like really curious. What am I going to walk into? I was so scared. So I walked in and it's like this, basically it's a workaround casinos. They're like these sweepstake machines, supposedly, all over the area. And it's super smoky and super gross. But apparently, the concept they're bringing in is totally different, like clean, fresh, and all that. But the cool part is they need 10 spaces. They want to start off with one and then expand over to 10. The problem I'm having is finding landlords who are willing to lease spaces for that type of business because it is so new and novel and kind of weird. So yeah, but his plan is to expand to 10 different locations within the Austin area, and once they do find a space, all of his partners being to Austin, so that comes with the residential side of things that they'll help with as well. So I'm pretty excited about the potential of it, but I'm kind of nervous because of the business type that they're bringing in. So yeah, that's my bit of good news.
Well, I think it's good news. I mean, congratulations. It's interesting because as soon as you said I did not know what I was going to walk into, I had a picture of like opium den, and then you're like, it's really smoky, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was right.
Yeah, well, I was
I
totally wrong.
really, I thought it was like,
It's kind
I
of fun.
genuinely thought I'm gonna walk into maybe like one of those adult stores where like they're in their rooms like doing weird stuff. I was so scared. I'm like, please don't let me see things that I don't see. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was like a casino in a smaller scale, with a bunch of slot machines. The way they work around the casino restrictions here is that they're called sweepstakes, and the only distinction is that you actually don't put money to play. You put money, you donate money, and they give you entries supposedly into the sweepstake. I was like, that's a very unique way of twisting the loop on all of this. So
Yep. I bet
yeah,
they're gonna make a ton
that
of
was
money.
Yeah, no kidding there.
oh, they
Indian
definitely
casino.
will. Yes.
Yeah, look at every Indian casino across America. They just keep getting bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so the one thing I can, well, two things about something you said. I have to jump off in 7 minutes because I got my call today. The first thing you said is good news sometimes goes south. There's a difference between prospects, like we've signed, we're moving forward, clients, customers, prospects. And then there's, okay, backing up. There's clients we've signed and we're, you know, buyer agency or listing agreement or whatever. There's customers, I've got a really good relationship with you. We haven't signed anything yet, but you and I are like this. And then there's prospects of, oh, you know, they might be interested. And then there's suspects. And I think part of what goes on is we have to filter through a ton of suspects. I mean, we just do it. So that might be a little bit of what's going on. But the other thing that came to mind is, do they have visual of the cleaned up version, or can we find visuals to represent the cleaned up version? So when we're presenting this, you've got a pitch deck that's got that cleaned up visual of, look, this is what we're doing, you know, this is what we're building, this nice, clean, pretty, sparkly thing. Even if you have to get stock stuff that just represents what it's going to be like if we don't have anything actual.
Yeah, absolutely. So he currently owns 2 of those businesses in Laredo, and according to him, he's bringing that exact prototype over to Austin, so he would have access to footages and material that we can present to landlords. And the second thing is, I actually met him a couple of weeks ago, but he did sign the agreement, so he's officially a client. To address your first point. But yeah, so he's he does have photos and everything that we can utilize. The good thing is that commercial is really hurting in Austin. So landlords are finding themselves to be in a more of a desperate position where they would agree to tenants that they otherwise would probably have rejected. But we just need to find a location that would have that okay and also accommodate their needs. So they need a very open space, a place that has very, very few windows. Apparently it's all cash. So it's a bit more challenging on that front.
Yeah, that all makes sense. It really does make sense. Interesting. What an interesting business model.
Yeah, that's
And a loophole workaround.
interesting.
Yeah. Congrats, by the way. And I know we talked a little bit about
Thanks.
somebody that's blustering, and you're welcome, sweetie. Somebody is blustering and dealing with it. Is there anybody that has any other issues, or is that something that you guys want to talk about for a minute? All right.
Let's talk about it for a minute.
All right, let's do that. Who has something that knocks the blustery people like back? Like what do y'all do when you run across a thing? you know?
Tell them to go fuck themselves.
You listen to that song.
Good song, which is so happy and cheery.
Yes, it is.
Very cheery. Okay, Kathy, what do you do? How do you just?
It's kind of funny because I try to diffuse it.
Mhm.
And the way I do that is because when I encounter that type of person, it immediately reminds me of my dad.
Mm.
And he's grumpy and hateful and all that kind of stuff. But if I say that to somebody, even though I may have different feelings, they just sort of melt. And I kind of say, but inside they're not like that.
So you tell them you remind me of my dad?
Mhm.
I love that.
There
I-
was
Question.
it kind of depends on the relationship you have too, but it's kind of like an icebreaker.
Yeah, it's perfect. And that's what you need. You need something to knock them off kilter, a pattern interrupter.
Mhm.
Get a pattern interrupter. And there's a bunch of different ways to pattern interrupt. I was curious what your guys's was. So it's much nicer than something get in your cornflakes, sweetie. I mean,
I kind of laugh when I do it. Unfortunately, I go, you remind me so much of my dad. All grumpy on the outside and whatever, but inside you're big marshmallow,
mhm, mhm,
or whatever.
mhm.
So I can work with it. No worries.
What a beautiful soft way to come at it. Does anybody else have something that would work or does work when they get the blustery guy? Because I just want to
Well-
smack him and it's not good. And obviously I can't, I have to work around it, but it's just like, don't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to do what Bree said. And then
I
leave.
know. So I try to just continue the conversation.
Mhm.
I try, like the guy yesterday, I kind of changed. Instead of talking about the house, I asked him, what does he do? Was he an investor? How
Pattern
long has he been doing it?
Yep.
Mhm.
And just kind of changing the conversation a little from being all about the house and my client to more about him.
I like that. I do. I like that. I think maybe even hitting it straight on, but in a really fun way. And as a girl, I can probably get away with it better than maybe a man could. With, are you trying to scare me? A big smile and then continue on, and then keep on going. But there definitely has to be a pattern interrupt. There really does when
Yeah.
you meet Mr. Blustery. So, interesting.
Yeah,
Does anyone else got anything?
Yeah, because I could tell as soon as I said I was a realtor, because I introduced myself and let him know from the beginning that I was a realtor. And, he kind of talked slow from the beginning. But I continued to talk and ask my questions and, I didn't break.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, which is good because there's no sense in breaking and and it hides fear underneath it. It hides they don't want to be taken advantage of or something. Who knows what it does, but it hides some insecurity thing underneath it. Otherwise, there's no sense in So
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
then how do we combine that with the mirror and match technology, so that it's like, do we mirror and match and then bring them back into the pattern interrupt, or do we pattern interrupt and then mirror and match? It's like often I'm conflicted by that.
Okay, so that's such a great question, Pia. And here's my thoughts around it. Mirror and matching, pattern interrupting, and a bunch of other tools are tools. And you pull different tools out at different times. And
Different
I'll use them like
times.
2 minutes.
Well, yeah, because if you mirrored somebody who's being angry and grumpy, you're just going to accelerate it.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
don't want to do that. Although sometimes, when I worked customer service, I would get somebody who'd be like, "Ah, rah, 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 rah," and I went above. So it's another technique is to escalate it even higher because they'll calm down. I would literally, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it." Ah," and they're like, literally, it's not that big a deal. Like, and I'm like, I just, and they're like, no, it's fine, really. So there's just another tool. So you just want as many tools as you can have in your toolbox to be able to pull out your different tools when they match or when
Yeah.
they're right to use.
I
Yeah.
didn't know. See, nobody says that in all of my trainings before. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody's like mirror match or, pattern, they never talk about merging or the concept that, hey, you have a tool bag, use the one that you think is appropriate at that moment.
Yeah.
Thank
And if
you.
it
That's-
doesn't work with the pipe wrench, you pull out a hammer and you hit them with a hammer. If that doesn't work, yeah. You get into Bree's toolbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's PF's too. He was playing that song. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
almost Christmas-like in how cheesy it was. It was pretty dang funny. All right, I gotta go. I gotta jump onto my accountability call.
All right.
Yep, congratulations, everybody. I love all the good news. And I'm also very grateful that yesterday we all did kind of a R thing ourselves too. So I think it was, I don't know, seemed to be needed. So anyway, I hope you all have fabulous days and I will see you when I see you next.
All right.
I won't see you tomorrow. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
well, mine will depend on the weather.
there you go. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.